Patrick, there is also something that is that happened historically, and this was in the 50s, in the rise of the Pan-Arabists. This was the trend when Egypt, Syria, and Palestine, and in different regions in the Middle East, or MENA region, let's say, they have witnessed this Pan-Arabist awakening, trying to bring these countries together geographically. They failed miserably because they were hyper-focused on geographical, let's say, unity rather than economic integration, which could lead later into, let's say, some viable confederation or federalism among these Arabic countries. However, during this time, the Muslim Brotherhood was again against the Pan-Arabists. But back then in Egypt in the 50s, the United States didn't join the Muslim Brotherhood. They were on opposite side of the UK in this case, especially when the UK, Israel, and France bombed, let's say, Egypt. What was the main, let's say, disagreement between the US and UK that they were not really together in this case against Pan-Arabists?
I don't know the reason per se, other than that was an anomaly compared to what we see now, that when the uniform support of Israel. So I believe Eisenhower was the president at that time during the Suez crisis. Yes. Let's be clear what happened there, okay? The big news, that was the moment that the region switched hands from being mainly under British control to United States dominance of the region, of the Middle East. Maybe it had something to do with, you know, wrestling control of maritime trade routes going in through the post-World War period, and probably a heavy dose of Cold War strategic positioning. Here's the important point with the United States. During the Cold War, the biggest threat for the U.S., and especially as the Israeli lobby was beginning to gain traction and influence in the mid-50s into the 60s, the big threat was not communism per se in the region, but Arab nationalism. And certainly Israel regarded that as the #1 threat. With Arab nationalism, some of these countries were leaning towards state-directed economic and state-owned industries, utilities, the main things. This fear, the British and the Americans, of Arabs uniting under secular governments, but uniting under an Arab nationalist identity. Instead, they promoted the pan-Islamist version, which was dead on arrival anyway. A lot of it is just kind of, that's the Muslim Brotherhood line. So again, a useful tool to help to deploy to break up the emergence of Arab nationalism.